Alright, gentlemen, we're going nuclear here. This is the H19 that I bought from Pt.07 at the last Tandy assembly and fixed, and we used it on Hardin's Tandy 6000 exhibit as a terminal. This is the Z19 that I bought off of eBay a long time ago that you've seen in all of the previous videos. This is the pile of parts out of the broken Z89 and the broken H19 that I got from Pittsburgh at the same time that I picked up that ADM3 and the K-Pro 2 and the Osborne 1. Alright, the power supply in the H89 was beefier than the one that was put in the Z19 and the H19. So the plan is to put all of the Z89 guts into this thing, right? And we'll have to swap the power supplies too. I'm going to keep the H19 as it is for the most part, because the enclosure is in the best shape of any H19 that I've ever seen, except for some dings here along the keyboard bezel. So I may swap in a different keyboard bezel. This is the keyboard out of the Z89, and it is different than the one that came out of the H19 from Pittsburgh. It's got a copper fill on it, presumably so there's less noise on the keyboard matrix. We'll want to reuse this keyboard if we can. As far as I know, there's nothing wrong with it except that one of these thingaroos is stripped out, so we'll probably have to do some swappage. That's a Z89A, so I assume that the H19A also used this same later keyboard with all the copper fill on it. This keyboard bezel out of the Z19 is in excellent shape, and since they're all exactly the same anyway, and I know that keyboard works, I'm going to just put it in the H19, and I'm not going to bother swapping this one over. Here's the inside of the H19. You can see the speaker is just stuck on there with double-faced tape, and it's the same in the Z19, stuck on there with double-faced tape. And in the Pittsburgh H19, that double-faced tape had decayed, and the speaker was just bouncing around in here when I opened it up to look at it the first time. Not this machine, but the dead Pittsburgh H19, whose parts are scattered about over there. Fortunately, it didn't break the CRT neck or anything. It must not have gone very far. But yeah, that doesn't thrill me the way that's done. But you can see here in the Z89A, and presumably in the Z19A and the H19A and the H89A are all the same. It's got this little bracket here that the speaker sits in, and then this little doodad clamps down to hold it in there. So they did away with the double-faced tape in the later model. It seems like they made a lot of improvements to it. Okay, the Z19 or H19 Pittsburgh keyboard tests good, although there are some sticky keys. It needs a good cleaning, I reckon. The H19 Pittsburgh terminal logic board tests fine. The Pittsburgh H19 power supply filter capacitor board tests fine. I didn't check the great big capacitor, and I didn't check the transformer yet. I'll do that when I'm done, I think. The Pittsburgh H19 CRT is go, although of course the video board isn't adjusted to match it, so raster and shit. But yeah, alright, cool. Now let's try the H89 one. Z89, whatever. Now this is a most excellently pleasant surprise. It's a green CRT in the H89. Of course, the video board needs adjusted for this particular tube to get rid of the raster, but boy, oh boy, that is excellent. I love green tubes. I gathered up the two shell halves with the best paint, which ended up being both of the H89 halves, I think. I mean, it's not great, but not nearly as good as the H19 was, but It'll do. I think I might have a little paint this color left from redoing that disk drive case for the H8 anyway. But this thing is really filthy. I don't usually give too much of a shit about inside dirt because you can't see it when the case is closed anyway. But it's got some scuffs and shit on the outside that I can't even get off with brake cleaner. So I'm gonna take this down the road with me in the morning and power wash it and see if that gets some of this baked on shit off of here. The top's not nearly as bad. So, yeah, I guess that's it for this evening. See you next time.